Hey, and I'm back with another mini podcast. Yo, I'm back doing a mini podcast here. I just reacted, or I'm going to do a reaction video, just watched a Super Bowl Contenders video from Colin Cowherd. Now, Cowherd's one of those guys that I watch the YouTube clips. I don't really have time to watch the show live when it happens, but these guys on FS1, ESPN, have been watching them for years in their shows, and without these sports media shows, I mean, there wouldn't be the same drive around watching the sports when they actually come on live. So shout out to those guys for kind of keeping things interesting. But let's kind of get into this. And I wanted to react to kind of who Cowherd thought was a contender, who wasn't. Now, I'm going to give my top two from each conference at the end of this. And I believe he had 6 or 7 in his list. But I'm going to go through some of the teams that are doing pretty good, having pretty good seasons so far in the NFL. And we're more than halfway through the year. As I forget what week is going on. There's games going on right now as I speak. It's week 13. So by week 18, we'll be done. 5 more weeks to go. And these are the Super Bowl contending teams. So let's start with the Patriots. Belichick finally has a team. Now, we didn't know how long is it going to be after Tom Brady and his era after New England. I thought Bill Belichick was going to kind of fade away and ride off into the sunset, but he wanted to stick around, have a couple more years, and I didn't think that the Patriots would be very good. Well, they got Mac Jones. They spent a lot of money in free agency. And sure enough, they're having a pretty good record, and right now atop of their division in the AFC East. Mac Jones has been looking like the rookie of the year as of late, and while I didn't think that was going to be the case a couple weeks ago, I might have to change my mind on that. And Jones, maybe not the best at throwing the ball downfield, but he is kind of managing the game Tom Brady-esque. There's a lot of comparisons to that 2001 team, and that's kind of funny. We'll see how that turns out. For the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, he's not quite having the year I expected him to have. I mean, this is a guy, I predicted him to win MVP on my podcast, The Coin Flip. And before the year started, if you look at his stats, just following that pattern, that trajectory, Josh Allen was going to have a nutty year. He was going to have maybe 50 touchdowns, only 10 interceptions or so, at least 4,500 yards at least. And he's maybe not quite having that quite dominant of a statistical year. But the Bills are still winning games. Here and there, they're winning a good chunk of their games, but they kind of don't have that scare factor. They're not putting the other people on notice, I feel like, as they did last year. And as a team that has been on the come up for quite some time now, it doesn't quite make sense what we're seeing from the Bills. They need more of a run game. They need more weapons outside of Diggs. Whose division is it really? Is it the Patriots or the Bills? Talk about the Ravens. They had a lot of preseason injuries, and Lamar Jackson not playing too well as of late. He had 4 picks, and I almost want to say that I don't trust the Ravens when it matters most. I think Lamar's legit, but there's sometimes that it really appears that he's just out-schemed. But then right when you count him out, he responds back with one of the best games of his career. But this isn't quite the Ravens team. They're not at full strength. And I think if they come back next year, they'll have a better shot. The Bengals, tough schedule to finish out. They're a young team. This team is going to be great down the line. I think they're just a little fluky this year. The Bengals will be great. They might squeak into the playoffs. We'll have to see. But I don't expect them to win a playoff game. The drought will continue. The Titans, all dependent on Derrick Henry. If Derrick Henry comes back and he's at 100%, somehow, some way, the Titans could very well be one of the most dangerous teams in the playoffs. The Titans last seen, I felt like, when they beat the Rams, at that moment in time, they would be in my top 2. But because of that, I don't think I can. And we're going to have to see how Derrick Henry recovers. Until then, Tannehill's not going to be able to help these guys out. Julio Jones is not the same guy, let's face it. And the Titans are just inconsistent. So we have to wait on that. The Colts, Jonathan Taylor's nice, but I don't think he's going to win MVP. I don't think he has a shot. Colts aren't good enough. Carson Wentz is the quarterback, and because of those things, I can't have the Colts in my top 2 either. The Cowboys. Let's talk about the Cowboys. Name a team that has a big as fan base as the Cowboys, but is as bad as they are for as long as they have been. Can't do it. Is this the year they finally get a playoff win? I think it is. I think they do somehow, some way. They finally do it first round, but likely that will be it. I think they are maybe in terms of the NFC, they're at the top of that second tier, no further. The Packers, looking like probably the best team in the league right now. I agree with Coward. They have the least amount of flaws, even with their injuries, and they have Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams. Everybody knows the ball is going to go to Devontae, but they still can't stop him. And the defense, kind of every year with the Packers and Aaron Rodgers is the question. And if they can hold up enough, be around a top 10 defense, the Packers can go all the way. 49ers, they're too hurt again. Got off to a really bad start. And in a division like this, it's going to be tough to fight back. I don't even know if they will make the playoffs. The Cardinals, great road team. Kyler's really unpredictable. I have doubts about this team, and I think there's that kind of phony factor just a little bit for whatever reason. Maybe we're just judging them, and they're just that team who kind of comes out of nowhere. Maybe we should take them more seriously, but a lot of the media doesn't really talk about the Cardinals, kind of just like they don't talk about the Phoenix Suns in the NBA. I don't know what that's about. Maybe it's because West Coast, they played later in the day. Everybody on the East Coast goes to sleep. I don't know. The Bucks, reigning champs. It's all about getting into final form when you're a couple weeks out for the playoffs, and the next couple of weeks will determine that for the Buccaneers. I think they can do it. Can Tom squeak by enough, just manage the game enough, not turn the ball over? If he does that, they might win it all again this year. And the Chiefs, let's finish it off. From the AFC, the Mahomes storyline, his whole career has been interesting, but it took a wild turn this year because nobody saw him really being this bad. He's been bad, but the past couple weeks, he's sort of turned it around. The O-line will determine this team's outcome. They have a ton of weapons, but you can't get the ball into the hands of your receivers if you don't block. I don't trust the Chiefs this year, though. I feel like there's something wrong with them. And while they might make it to my top 2 in the conference, they're not the same Chiefs, not just yet. But they are the Chiefs, so I trust that they can get back there. So when it comes down to it, the top 2 contenders from each conference, I'm going to say the Packers and the Buccaneers from the NFC and from the AFC. I'm going to do the Chiefs, and I'm going to say I got to go with the Patriots. Somehow, some way. I think it's more about the teams that aren't playing good, like the Ravens not playing good. Even the Raiders got off to a hot start, cooled off significantly with all that drama. The Patriots are nice, but it's more about the Bills not playing well. Steelers not playing well either. Bengals overhyped. Chargers, didn't really mention them, but another case with a young quarterback. Maybe they are a year away as well. But those are the Super Bowl contenders, breaking down who is legit and who is not. Jacob Zimmerman on the mic. Have a great day.